What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be installing the blacked out GM taillights from the ZL1 1LE, and also we're going to be installing the clear third brake light as well. This should only take us about 30 minutes here or so it should be really simple to do. We're going to go ahead, pop out a few bolts, and the only tools you'll need are right here. You need an 8mm ratchet, you need something to pop some clips off, and the last thing you're going to need is a heat gun if you're doing the third brake light. But again, if you're just doing the GM third tails, all you need is an 8mm. You guys should be done here in about 15 to 30 minutes. Really easy install here, so we're going to go ahead, get that done, and let's go ahead, let's get these taillights swapped in and swapped out and get them on the car. I think it's going to change up the back end and make it look a little bit cleaner all the way throughout the car and tie everything together. And that's going to be before we send on the big wing on the back. So it's going to be subtle for now, and we're going to turn it up a little bit later. Alright guys, so here you have it. This is our GM smoked tail light. This is straight off of the ZL1 1LE, and I think it makes the back end look a whole lot cleaner, given that, again, it just is a lot more subtle, and it goes with the hyper metallic blue quite a bit. So again, it's only going to be about, it looks like 5 bolts here. You have 2 on one end, 1 in the middle, then another 2 on the other side. So again, 5 bolts here, all in 8mm, so you can go ahead, swap that in, swap that out. Obviously you have a harness that's tied to one side. I'll link down below where I got these taillights, so if you guys want to get them yourself, you can go ahead and pick them up. So without further ado, let's get these on the car. It should only take here about 15 minutes or so. Really excited to see what these look like when they're all said and done. Alright, so once you removed all 3 Chincadeiras, all you have to do is basically remove this little piece in here. You use a plastic panel removing tool, or you can use a flathead screwdriver and go ahead, slide that in, and pop it off without breaking it, hopefully. Alright, so once you have your Christmas tree clip removed, all you have to do is essentially pull down this trunk liner. And go ahead and use this tool again, and just pull everything straight down just enough. So underneath here, you're going to see that you have 2 8mm bolts right here. You're going to have another one right behind this bracket. All right, so we got all 3 bolts out of the taillight right here. Once you do that, all you have to do is basically yank this out. Might kind of feel like you're going to break something, but don't worry, there's only 2 clips back there that are kind of cinching it in. So just kind of pull gently and it'll eventually kind of pop loose. Alright, so if you guys saw me right there, I was struggling to get these out. And when you're starting to pull on these taillights, you're basically going to pull until it feels like it's going to break. Basically, there are 2 cinch bolts on that side that are really holding everything in. Just slowly tug it back until it eventually comes loose. It'll feel like it's going to break, but don't worry too much about it. That is the only way to get these off. Alright, so right here, you're just going to have this harness that you're going to pull back the lock, and then you're going to press down right here in the middle. That's going to go ahead and release your harness for you. You're also going to have this connected to the taillight itself. So just go ahead and pry that off with a screwdriver. So have that nearby so you don't have your taillight hanging there on the bumper. You obviously don't want to get everything scratched up. So right back there, you can see where the cinch bolts are. Essentially, it's 2 orange clips that are really holding these things in. It's going to slide right in and right out of those bolts. So I'll let you do that. All right, so I'm gonna step to the right. There is the red taillights, and over here, boom, we have our clear taillights. Let me know down in the comments below whether you think that was worth it. I think it changes up the back end quite a bit, makes it a lot cleaner. So let me step back, and we have side by side the red versus the clear, and I think the clear is just awesome on this car. Go ahead, start this up, and then we're gonna go ahead and remove the third brake light as well. Alright guys, I think the taillights came out awesome, and what we're going to be doing right now is installing the third brake light here. Again, this is another GM part off of the ZL1 1LE. Right now, this red third brake light definitely sticks out with clears on both sides here. So all you have to do to kind of install this, there are no bolts. You're going to have to basically heat up all around your third brake light, and then slowly start to pry it back with a panel removing tool or some piece of plastic. You do not want to use a screwdriver. You can probably get away with using a credit card as well. Just to kind of make sure you're not scratching up the paint any sort of way. So let's go heat up the rear, let's go ahead and heat up this adhesive. Hopefully not too much residue is left behind. If there is, we're basically gonna use some Goo Gone and scrape that away and get this installed. So let's go ahead and get that done. So after heating everything up, you're gonna see that essentially you can get your fingers behind here. So a little trick to peeling up the third brake light, you're gonna wanna stick your card straight behind the brake light, and then you could use a very thin and small screwdriver to lightly pry against the body. So essentially you're not gonna be scratching up your paint at all. So make sure you have a buffer there, then slowly pry it up, and then you're gonna be able to pull back the rest of the taillight, and it kind of comes straight out. So right here is what we're gonna have to clean up right now. We're gonna have to get rid of all of this residue on the side before installing our new third brake light. Alright, so to install this third brake light, it slips right in, but all we're going to have to do first is remove the 3M tape. We're actually going to remove this once we get this onto the car. So what you're going to do is you're going to push in the third brake light. These tabs will break away, and that's going to be your last final push once it's already mounted. So it's already set up to go. Obviously it tells us which direction to put it. Can't be any easier than this. Let's go ahead, plug it in, and get it installed. So before we go big wing, I think this is the best look for the back end of this car. It stays relatively subtle while also looking aggressive, and I think a little bit more upper end. I think these taillights belong on this car. I think red fits some of the other colors, but definitely for the hyper metallic blue, you're gonna need these GM smoked out taillights. Now a cheaper option, this piece right here is roughly $100. If you want to skip this one, you can. Essentially what you can do is put a vinyl tint strip across the back that'll look good as well. I just wanted to go with all OEM parts. I think this is going to look awesome on the back, and it's a super easy install. We tackle this basically within about an hour here and got all three done with only a few distractions during the install. So guys, so hopefully you guys had a great Christmas, Hanukkah, holiday, whatever you're celebrating this week. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. Let me know what you guys want to see next on this car. Should we actually put a big wing on the back, or should we keep it a little bit more subtle with a wicker bill? I'm leaning a little bit more towards a wicker bill unless you guys convince me otherwise, so let me know in the comments down below. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace out.